guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna be getting ready for my 6-year anniversary with my boyfriend. So I thought I would film myself getting ready. I also asked you guys last night over on Instagram to send me a couple of questions, so we will be answering that as well. I'm gonna add in some like little vlog footage at the end. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys want to get along ready with me or see how I got this look, then just continue watching. I'm first gonna start off with the ColourPop All-Star Matte and Blur Primer, and I'm just gonna apply this all over my face just to prep the skin. For foundation today, I'll be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the shade Golden Beige. Using my Real Techniques beauty sponge, I'm gonna use this to pounce it into my skin. But as you guys can read from the title, today I'm getting ready for Harry and I's 6-year anniversary. I cannot believe that it's been like 6 years now. It's so freaking crazy. But I did ask you guys on Instagram last night if you had any questions for me, because, you know, I want to talk about something in this video, because I feel like Get Ready With Me a little bit more casual. You don't really have to talk about like the makeup and how you're doing it, since this look that I'm doing today is going to be very simple, and I'm sure you guys see me do multiple times. So I want to make it a little bit more personal, and since I'm getting ready for my anniversary, I might as well keep it in the realm of like relationships. I'm now going to go in with my concealer, which is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is also in the shade Golden Beige. I'm gonna put this right under my eyes, and I've been breaking out a lot, which is pretty sad, but it is to be expected. I've been eating really bad. I don't know about you guys, but when I feel like sad or stressed, I just tend to eat whatever the hell I want. And when you eat whatever the hell you want and you don't have perfect skin, you're gonna break out. Yeah, I just been really, I don't know, kind of sad these days. It's not YouTube related or anything, it's just really personal. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. Things are just a little bit rough right now. I'm fine, it's okay. I don't wanna make this mood all sad, but I have been sad, and when I get sad, I just eat. I don't care, I just eat. That explains my breakouts. Okay, while I blend out my concealer, let's answer a question, shall we? So this was my little post from yesterday, and we have a couple of questions. I'll go through the start and work my way up and see if I can try and answer everything in today's video. I see there's like a lot of repeat questions. A lot of repeat questions is how and where did we meet? Harry and I have been dating for 6 years now, so if you do the math, I was 16 when we met and he was 17. I don't want to give the whole story away on how we met, because eventually I do want to film the boyfriend tag, and right now Harry is not comfortable being on camera, but he didn't say no to the idea, so eventually one day we will film that. For now, he doesn't want to be on camera as much, which I totally respect, you know. So we were young. Harry and I went to the same high school, but he is a year older than me. We weren't in any classes together. Pretty much how we met is on Facebook. That is the long story short. I really want to share with you guys how we met, but it's a really long story, so I definitely will keep that for later when we're both here together, so you can get like both perspectives. But we went to the same high school and we started talking over on Facebook. So that's how we like initially first met, if you want to call it. Another question is, what were your first impressions of each other? He was the cutest guy in school, okay? I had a crush on him. Like, I didn't know him personally, but I just had like a crush on him. Like, I just thought he was the cutest guy in the school. You know, there were a couple of cute guys at our school, but I always thought he was like just the cutest one. He had like a baby face, and I just really thought he was handsome and cute. That was from when I didn't know him. If you want to know my first impression, when I first met him, he was just this cool, popular, bad boy kind of guy. He had a boy racer car at the time when I met him. Yeah, he was just like that cool, popular dude. He just like kind of knew everyone. He kind of reminded me of my brother. My brother was like that as well, like very much into cars, was very popular. Like a lot of people knew me because of my brother. Like I was a nobody. I am still a nobody, but like, yeah. My brother was really popular. It kind of reminded me of like my brother in a sense. I am using a new powder today. I recently just got the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. I'm so excited to try this out. I won't be taking any like flash photos. I never do, but yeah, so I thought I would try it out today. Oh, that's so cute. The dispenser is like in a little heart shape. Isn't this just perfect for today's video? Because it's like anniversary Get Ready With Me. Just gonna use my same sponge that I've been using, taking a little bit. That doesn't look like a little, but I'm just gonna use this to bake under my eyes. Oh, I like this one. It actually, like a lot of powders, when I use it under my eyes, I almost feel like my skin tightens a little bit because it can be a little bit drying. But this one just feels so incredibly light. I look really washed out right now, but I did have to bump up my contrast like just a little bit just because it is quite dark outside. And for the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Colourpop No Filter Sheer Press Powder in medium dark to set the rest of my face, and I'll also answer another question while we're doing that. So another question is, what do you think are the biggest differences and similarities between the two of you? Now that Harry and I officially moved out this year together in our own place, it is a lot different, okay? You think you know someone's living habits, but you don't. You only know their living habits when you actually are living together. Because when I was at his parents' house, all I had to do was make sure our room was clean. I think the biggest difference between us is that I am a very organized person. I am very paranoid. I just like everything to be in its place. I'm very OCD, very clean. Like, I just like to live in a very clean space. Like, once my room gets dirty, I have to clean it up like right away. I cannot let it be, like, I can't have clothes lying on the floor, no socks, no dust. Like, if there's something on the floor that I see, like a piece of string, I'll pick it up, throw it away. Just in life generally, if I want to do something, I'll do it now. I think that's a big difference from us, and that's something that we kind of had to overcome and just find that balance, because I know I can be very hardcore. Like, when I want him to do the dishes, he'll be like, yeah, I'll do it in 10 minutes. But I'm like, no, you have to do it now. So I can see, like, he needs to step it up a little and I need to step it down a little so we can meet in that middle ground. But the biggest similarities, we're literally the same person. You could say that Harry is like the boy version of me, and I think that's why we've lasted for so long. Firstly, our faith is exactly the same. The way we view it, the way we take it in is like identical. Just how we view things, like situations. We just like a lot of things together. He's very open to a lot of things. You'll be surprised on his knowledge on makeup. Yeah, he's just a very curious person, very open. So I don't know, we have a lot of similarities. You could say we're almost the same. Our humor is the same. Just, we're very similar in personality. Like, I just think the way we live is very different. I feel so much better because I have a base on. I was feeling really insecure about my skin. I'm gonna move on to my brows. I thought I would do my brows on camera. Some of you guys have asked me on an updated brow routine, and honestly, it hasn't really changed. There are a lot of questions I want to go through, so I thought I would just keep the camera rolling and be on camera. So for my brow pencil, I'm going to be using the Colourpop brow pencil in black and brown. Another question is, what's the most romantic thing he's ever done for you? So when I think of romantic, I don't think of like candles, balloons, like flowers, but I think the biggest thing, literally my camera and my first camera that I had for YouTube. He bought that for me. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to answer questions about Harry while I'm getting ready, because when I talk about him, like, we've just been through a lot. This tripod that I'm using, he bought me like a microphone. He just really believed in me from the beginning. I think out of everyone in my life, he is like truly the person that knows how much work I put into this, because not only that I live with Harry, but we also work together at the same place. So we're literally together all the time. I think he sees how much I work, how much I edit. He sees all the behind the scenes, how much money and time I put into this. And just right from the beginning, when I told him that I wanted to do YouTube, he always pushed me, encouraged me. And when I actually started doing YouTube, he bought me my first like actual camera. Because if you go to like my first ever video, I used like a camera that I had. It was a really expensive camera, but it was for photography. You couldn't really record on it, so it was very blurry, it was very zoomed in. I didn't know how to work it, and I guess he really saw like how much like I really wanted to do this, or he saw the potential in me. He bought me my first actual camera. It was like a Nikon one, and I did like a couple of videos with that, and then eventually he ended up getting me the one that I'm using right now, even the tripod that it's on. He also got me like a microphone back in the day. It's not the fact that like the gift that he got me, it's like the thought that he had into it. He put a lot of research into which camera he could get, which one is the best, what other YouTubers are using. He didn't just buy a random camera. At the time, like, we were really young, spending a couple grand, something like you're not even sure if YouTube would work out. you know? So I think that would have to be like the most romantic thing he did for me. Now I'm just taking the Anastasia brow powder in dark brown, and I'll just be using this to fill in the rest of my brow. And I think I'm just gonna shut up for a little bit so I can just finish off my brows so we can get ready with me moving along. So my brows are finally on. I just zoomed you up a little bit just so you could see what I'm gonna do with my eyeshadows. It's very basic, but I thought I would just zoom you guys up anyway. We're gonna be using, of course, my Disney palette from Colourpop. I'm gonna mix a bit of Grumpy and Triton together. So another question is, how would you start trusting someone again after they lost it? You gotta have a very open heart to trust that person again. You have to have it in your heart that you want to trust that person again. If you aren't willing to do that, then there is no point in trying. You just have to be open to the idea that like you want to trust them again, if that makes any sense. I think to get someone's trust back again is time. Honestly, they will see that over time through your actions that you are still a trusting person. Like, you also got to realize that everybody makes mistakes. I'm sure you yourself has broken someone's trust before, and like everyone makes mistakes, and I think you just got to see the intention behind it, and that you can see that they are genuinely trying to get your trust back. They're not forcefully trying to do things to make that trust come back. They are just genuinely sorry for what they did. I think trust can always be gained back, but I definitely think it's also what they do in that time to show that you can trust them again. And this is coming from someone that has big trust issues. I have a big time trusting anybody. I second doubt everything, I second guess everything, but I truly think time is the best thing, honestly. The next question is, what advice would you give to any young couple out there? Funny because I'm still a young couple myself. I'm only 22, guys. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like this question is very vague. Like, it doesn't pinpoint to like a certain issue. It's just, what would you give to a couple that's young? I mean, I don't know. Just love each other, be nice to each other, respect each other, have fun together. Like, I don't know, that's a hard question to answer. Another question is, how do you manage to keep things exciting / new after being with Harry for so long? I actually saw a couple of these questions as well, very similar to it. Just kind of like, how do you keep the spark alive in a sense? I think first things first. I know this sounds very cliche and literally every couple says it, but Harry is truly just my best friend. I've never had like a best friend before where I could tell everything to and just be like my genuine self. Harry is, first things first, he is my best friend. Like, I tell him everything, I do the weirdest things around him. He just knows everything about me, and I think that is what a best friend is. They know you better than you know yourself, you know? Every day is just kind of like being with my best friend. Way that you guys can relate to it, if you've had a friend since childhood, you know, you guys been together for so long, it's kind of like that. I always view relationships and friendships to be very, very similar, but you know, everyday life can sometimes be a little bit boring a little. For me personally, and I guess I can say this for him as well, is traveling. I think traveling just opens our eyes like so much. Like, there's just so much more to the world, you know, and it's really exciting for us to see new places, and you know, we're lucky enough that we can travel like at least once a year, I guess, because ever since we met we traveled at least once a year together. So yeah, I think traveling for us, and even if you don't have the money to travel, even just going somewhere in your city or like going on a mini road trip, I think that is something really good to do. Next, I'm gonna take the shade Abu on my Morphe M433. And the next question is, did you imagine you'd reach this point? Just curious. Love you, Judy. Love you too, girl. But yeah, I really did. I knew from day one Harry was the guy that I was gonna marry. Still friends with one of the friends that have been there with me since the beginning. Like, she was there when I was in the chasing stage with Harry, when Harry asked me out. When we were a lot younger, Harry and I used to fight a little bit more than we do now, obviously. But I remember we were having like an argument, and I was telling her, I was like, I can't believe I thought he was the one I was gonna marry and we're already having this fight. It's really silly, but like from day one, I guess I just knew he was gonna be the one. So yeah, I always kind of knew that we would always end up here, and he always knew that too. Next question is, what do you like most about each other? Harry is very open. He was very curious. I'm literally the opposite of that. I don't know a lot of general knowledge about the world and history because literally, like, if we didn't get taught about it in school, I won't go home and like research it. If someone mentioned like, oh, did you see what happened to this and this? Like, I'll be like, oh no, I didn't. But I won't go home and like research about it or anything. Where Harry, he would. He's a very curious person. So I like how he is like that. He tells me a lot of things about the world that I didn't know about, you know, these facts and stuff. And I think it's just, he's just really knowledgeable when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, he's just a very curious person. And I like that, how he's very open-minded. He has a very, like, just a really good heart, you know. His intentions are always good. Another thing that I really like about Harry is that he's just very present. He's not a guy that, I don't know, he's just very different from a lot of the dudes that you see in this generation, especially in our age. Barely on his phone, you know. When we're traveling, he doesn't bring out his phone to take photos. He just really just likes to see everything, view everything with his own eyes and just soak in that present time. Even like when we go to concerts, he won't bring his phone out to record it. He could even see his favorite band, like Boyz II Men. He like lives for Boyz II Men, but he could see them in real life and not even ask for a photo or something. He would just really just be in the present time and just soak it in. And that's something like you do not see in this technology generation at all. Everyone literally these days are always on their phone. Whatever is on their phone is much more important. When you're talking to someone, they're not listening because they are on the phone. Another question is very similar to before, but she asked, how did you meet / advice on how to put yourself out there and be confident? Another cliche thing is honestly just be yourself. Just put yourself out there and be yourself, and if the dude doesn't like it, the girl doesn't like it, like you know, whatever, because if they don't like you for who you genuinely are, then what is the point of being with them? You know, you gotta find someone that's gonna accept you and be with you. If you can't be yourself, then who are you gonna be? It's very easy to see through fake people, in my opinion. Still using the same shade Abu, but I'm gonna switch to my Sigma E55 brush. Our next question is, how do you come over your differences? So like I mentioned before, what our differences are. I think you just gotta talk about it. Communication, that is like the most important thing. And I also think being very sympathetic, putting yourself in that other person's shoe. Like, I gotta realize that like you're kind of crazy. Like, you're very OCD. Normal people wouldn't be as a clean freak as you, so you gotta kind of step it down to his level, and then he's gotta also see it from my point of view as well. So I think just communicating your thoughts and just telling each other like, oh, this is how I feel. You don't need to be angry about it. You just talk in a calm manner and just be like, you know, I feel like this, I have this to do, like you could do this for me, that would really help me out. You guys definitely will solve that problem. I think just putting yourself in each other's shoes and just communicating is the best way. Next question is, what is your favorite thing about living together? We just have our own space, you know. It's like just me, him, and the cats. Like, we just have our own space. I can put things the way I want it to, even though like my mum and his mum will come over and be like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should clean this. But like, for the most part, this is just our space. We can do what we want. Okay, so that is it for my eyeshadow. I'm actually just gonna go off camera to do my wing liner because I know I definitely cannot talk when I'm doing my wing liner. So I'm just gonna save the time, do my wing off camera, and then I'll be right back to finish off the look. Okay, so I am back, and actually with my wing and lashes, I am wearing the Boudoir lights from House of Lashes, of course. These are like my all-time favorite, but I'm gonna use my ardency in Modster Smooth Rise Supercharged eyeliner in the shade Coffee, and I'm gonna use this to tightline my bottom waterline. Using my Sigma Sinuosity Lash Mascara. I'm gonna use this on my bottom lashes. Moving back onto the face, I'm gonna use my NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. I'm gonna use this shade over here, which is called Tan. The next question is, what is the #1 thing that has allowed you guys to sustain a healthy and lasting relationship? Like I mentioned earlier, I think being like friends, just like being best friends, I think that really helps. I think also our faith as well is very important. It plays a huge role in our relationship and the choices that we make and everything like that. I think communication, understanding from each other's point of view, also knowing each other's love languages are also very important. Next question is, do you guys ever fight? Like really bad fights? If yes, how do you make up? I think everybody has fights. For Harry and I, we would like to call it more like disagreements. Just like I mentioned before, our differences of how we like to live. I feel like this year we'd had more disagreement fights more than ever, just because living together is a very big change in a relationship. You're always gonna have disagreements and you're not always gonna agree on the same things. So I think it's very normal too, and just how we like to make up is just, again, being sympathetic and just putting yourself in their shoes, just kind of coming to common mutual terms with everything. I always like to say like compromise, always just meet in the middle, making both parties happy, and to do that you need to communicate. I'm gonna take this shade over here called Sculpt from the same palette, and I'm gonna use this to contour my nose. The next question is where to meet guys if you don't have any friends with not at uni, no guys at work. I honestly just think like let it happen naturally. You shouldn't go out searching for a dude. I think if it comes when the time is right. God has a plan for everyone. But if you want to get yourself out there just to meet people, I would say like you could join, like if you have a hobby, like if you like badminton, you could like join a badminton club. I just think just join clubs, or when you meet friends of friends of friends, you would be surprised of how small the world is and how many people you will meet through your friends and they meet their friends. And I feel like you shouldn't purposely like search for one. I think you should just let it come to you, because that is the most natural and organic way to make it happen. But I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, because I get it, it's hard, and I think I was very lucky to meet Harry at the time I did and how we met. I'm with you, like I don't have friends. I work from home. I work at Harry's parents' shop, so all I see is his family. I don't go clubbing, none of that, so I can see where you're coming from, but I think just remain strong, and if the time is right, the right guy will come. So the next question is, what is your favorite thing about him? Personality and or physically. So I already answered personality. I'll answer physically. I think he has a lot of nice features. I think he actually has a lot of girly features. He has very long legs. He has a nice butt. He has a very slender nose, big lips. But my favorite physical feature of him is definitely his cheeks. I love cheeks. I love baby faces. I like the texture of his skin. I'm taking my Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush in the shade Mellow Wine, and I'm gonna use this to push up my cheeks. Next question is, how many cats do you want to have together with him? Girl, if I could have all the cats in the world, every stray cat that I meet, I definitely would have them all. But just reality and whether I'm fit to have that many cats is not right, because obviously I'm not in that financial position too. I guess just as many cats I can take in to afford to give them a good life. You know, I don't want to take them in and give them a bad life. Next question is, what are your love languages? I don't think Harry's done the test. I've always told him to do the test, but he doesn't like doing it. But to guess, just knowing Harry, I think to guess his one, it would be number one would be quality time, and I think number two would be acts of service. For me, my love language is words of affirmation. That was like one of the, I guess, disagreements that we had in the beginning. Harry was a very like closed off person. He didn't really like to express himself, but my love language is to like express your love. I like to tell you like I love you, I appreciate you, and that's what I like to receive back. And in the beginning he wasn't really opening that up to me, so we really worked on that, and he knows that that is my love language now. So these days like we're all good. I'm just telling you guys about our struggles before when we were a lot younger. And then I think my second one is, I think, quality time. I know my last one is gifts. Now I'm taking my favorite highlighter, Fuego from Dose of Colors. This is going to be my highlight. I'm gonna highlight my cheekbones with this, my brow bone in a corner. I like to make everything look cohesive. Next question is very interesting. Have you picked up any Korean from being around Harry and his family? Actually not a lot, because to me, I find it very, very difficult to pick up a new language. Like, some people can pick it up very quickly, but for me, I find it very, very hard to. So over the 6 years, I would say I picked up maybe just like really the basics, probably what you guys also know as well, like saying thank you, how to say hello. Honestly, I picked up more Korean from watching Running Man over the past month and a half than I've picked up from Harry and his family. Harry doesn't speak fluent Korean. He says that his Korean is probably like an 8-year-old. Next question is, what has been your favorite location to visit together? I think Japan. Japan or Korea. Gold Coast is really fun as well. Korea was definitely a special one because that is where he was born. I actually went with his mum and Harry together, and it was the first time that I traveled with him. So maybe Korea because of those reasons. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lip color. I'm using the Disney collection with Colourpop in Bobbity D. The next one is, how do you deal with jealousy? Love you, Judy. I love you too, girl. You guys are so cute. But how do I deal with jealousy? I guess in the beginning I was a lot more of like a jealous person, you could say. The reason why I was so jealous because first, it's my first relationship. Second, I was very young, very insecure. It's like a normal thing, I guess. I guess the way I got over it was definitely time. I grew up, I gained more confidence in myself and also trust in Harry. Like, there's no reason for you to be jealous because if he is loyal and you trust him, he will always come back to you at the end of the day. So yeah, that is it for me on this camera. I'm gonna go get changed and do my hair, and then I'll probably start using my vlogging camera and start off the rest of the video. Okay, so before we head out, I thought I would show you guys my outfit. I'm just wearing this dress that I got from YesStyle. It's like a nice summertime dress. I've worn this a lot of times at this point. It's just very comfortable, but it's still very girly and a little bit more like dressed up, but it has like the ruching at the chest area. For my accessories, I'm wearing this one from Pelagia Jewelry, which is designed by my high school friend actually. You guys should definitely go check out her page. Honestly, it's stunning, her jewelry pieces. I'm so proud of her and how far she's come since she's first started. I also tied my hair up in this little hair tie polka dot. It would go with like the whole summertime outfit. I got this one in Japan. As for my shoes, these are just like an old platform sandal that I have. It's like a store in New Zealand, but that store actually shut down, so I can't tell you guys where I got it from, but yeah, just a nice pair of sandals. But yeah, that is pretty much my outfit.